Hello, my name is Karen Singleton. I'm with the South Alabama Living Team of Keller Williams Realty, the Mobile Division. I wanted to talk to you today about foreclosures. I get a lot of calls from home buyers or people looking for property who say, I'm looking for foreclosures. I want to purchase a foreclosure. But all foreclosures are not alike. There are different types of foreclosures. And I wanted to kind of talk to you today about the 4 different types of foreclosures that we see most often in our market. The first type of foreclosure that we hear a lot about is called a HUD home. What is a HUD home? A HUD home is a residential property that it was acquired by HUD, or the Housing and Urban Development, as a result of a foreclosure that had an FHA mortgage on it. That FHA mortgage was insured by HUD, so when that property foreclosed, HUD takes the property back and then sells it. The next type of property that we hear a lot about is either a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac foreclosure. A Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac foreclosure is one that was guaranteed. The loan itself was guaranteed by either Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, and so when that property foreclosed, they took ownership of those properties. Okay. The third type of foreclosure that is in the marketplace right now is an REO, or a bank-owned property. REO stands for real estate owned, and that is a division in banks that banks have. When those properties come back to them, they turn around and sell them. So an REO property or a bank-owned property is one that went to sell on the, in a foreclosure auction. For whatever reason, it wasn't purchased or the foreclosure was not halted, so the bank takes the property back. And there are various differences, based on the bank that owns the property. Some will want to sell them just as they are. Others will sometimes go in and do work on them. So not all REO properties are the same either. And then finally, the last type of property I would like to talk to you about is an investor-owned property. An investor-owned foreclosure is one that was either a HUD, a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or an REO property that an investor purchased, either through the foreclosure. He or she could have purchased it on the courthouse steps in the foreclosure auction, or they purchased it at a really good buy, either as a HUD or an REO or a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac property, and then they are turning around and reselling that property for a profit. So those are just the different types of foreclosures that we're seeing in the market right now. Probably the one that holds the most risk for a home buyer, just someone who wants to buy a property and live in it, would be an investor-owned property, and we'll talk about that in another session. They all have one thing in common, and that is in the state of Alabama we have a 1-year right of redemption, and that redemption allows that previous owner or any other creditors or anyone else who has an interest in that property to come back and redeem it. So sometimes that can be risky, sometimes that is a very minimal risk. On average, that does not happen very often, and there are ways that we can kind of weigh those risks versus the reward of purchasing a foreclosure. So again, all foreclosures aren't alike. They can be very different. They can be very good buys, but they're not always just wonderful deals. So before you invest in a foreclosure or purchase a foreclosure, ask your real estate agent, for the details of what is the foreclosure date, how long do we have left on the redemption period, what was it, how much was it foreclosed for, what was the foreclosure amount versus what you're paying for it. So these are some of the things that you want to know. You also want to know what other creditors, or were there any second mortgages, were there any tax liens, have the taxes been paid on it. So there are a lot of different things that you are going to want to know about a foreclosure before you purchase it. Don't be afraid of them. They can be a very good buy. But then don't jump into them blindly without asking a lot of questions first. I hope this is helpful. And if you have more questions about foreclosures or any other properties, visit my website at mobilebayalabamahomes.com, and I'll look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great day.